You trendy trans woman, why you calling us niggas? Why would you want to listen to a nigger anyway? That's dumb. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Brothers and sisters, try to go click out and try to click back in or something. What the hell? Try to figure out what's going on. How about now? The volume good now? Okay. With a name like Trendy Trans Woman, you the one need to be repenting. All praise, all praise. So, yeah, we already know. Hey, we ain't worried about them. They're gonna get this work. This work too. So the name of today's class.
Turn yours off. Okay, one moment.
Could y'all hear me good now? Put in the chat if y'all can hear me okay now. Yeah, see. Put it in the chat if y'all can hear me. Come. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. Let's go to the book of Leviticus. All praise. Go to the book of Leviticus. So, like we say, it's our job to bring these things and to let our people know what's going on in the world and among our nation of people. You know, we've seen what happened in Jacksonville. You know, brothers and sisters go and look those things up. Hey, we have to keep our ear to the streets and warn our people, man, of these things that's going on, especially amongst our people, let alone the things that are going on in the world. So we see racially motivated shooting in Jacksonville in 3 days. So we went to shot 3 random Why does this keep? Thanks, sis. Babe, mute your mic. Shalom, brother E, brother Do and sister Eleanor. How y'all doing, Ox? Can y'all hear me now? Okay, all praise. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, and verse, I'm going to start from the top again in verse 14. But if you would not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, because our people, we hate God's commandments. Like we say, when we try to teach our people out there on the streets, they always want to be combative to our people. We're literally trying to teach these laws, statutes, and commandments to do what? To save their lives. Like if our people understood about the Sabbath, that is no buying, no selling, you wouldn't have no reason to be out at these stores shopping. You would learn to guess what? Get your things before the sun goes down on Friday night to prepare for the Sabbath. No cooking, no buying, no selling, none of these things. That's how we stay alive in this captivity. Because like I said, if the brothers and sisters were keeping the Sabbath, they would have never even been in that Dollar General. It says, and if you would despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that you would not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror. And that's what we have been over here in this captivity. We've been terrorized as a nation of people. Going into what, 1492, Christopher killing Columbus sailed over here and destroyed the northern tribe. Then you have 1619, where they went what, stole us from the west coast of Africa, and guess what, forced us into bondage over here. You had 100 years of slavery. You had hundreds of years of, guess what, lynchings, killings, butt breakings, thrown to alligators. Any things that you can imagine have been happening to us as a nation of people. But we still love these other nations, especially the so-called white man. You know, we love them to death, and literally to death, man. You know, and that's something that our people suffer from as a nation of people, what is called cognitive dissonance, where you learn to agree and have sympathy for the people that's oppressing you. And we know that these are according to the scriptures. I'm going to read verse 16 again. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 16. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning egg, and shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. How does it consumes the eyes? Because time and time again, we have been seeing these things done to us as a nation of people. We've seen it, and we feel like we have no power, but our power lies within us keeping the commandments. Can you got it, Jonathan Scott? Leviticus 26 and 16. Thanks, Officer Yaakov. So we see these things happening to our people time and time again. We see them, and it's nothing we can do. How many times have we seen police murder unarmed black men? And we see the same instances happen to, guess what, Edomite nations, literally waving guns, waving knives, trying to come at them, and they're always taken in without harm. You know, we constantly see these things happening to us as a nation of people. It says, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror. That's what the KKK is all about, man. Appointing over us terror. Nazis. Because guess what? He had Nazi symbolism in his manifesto. You know, and a lot of times when our people see these white men, when y'all seeing these white men with tactical vests on, y'all bet to beware, man. That is literally a sign. But since our people love them so damn much, y'all never see them as harm, even though y'all see them doing all type of hell and giving us terror. We see these things constantly, man. And Christianity has programmed us, just like I hate to say, even with our brother Romeo. Christianity has programmed our people to do what? Love your enemies. That's why that's the wrong understanding of that scripture in the book of Matthew 5 and 44. That's not talking about the enemies of the other nations. It's talking about the enemies of your own people, man. Verse 16 again from the top. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning egg that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And it is sorrow for us when we see these things, man. It says, and ye shall sow your seed in vain, meaning the children that we have will be going through these same conditions as well. It says, and ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you. And that's what we've seen out there, man. We've seen what our enemies do, what? Slaying us or kill us. That's what the word slain means, before his eyes. Because we do what? We reject the Most High God's commandments. We reject his judgments, and we don't want to have nothing to do with the Most High. But we always want to say that we want to what? That we love God. We do these things with our mouth, but guess what? The Most High God wants us to show it with our actions, man. No, that's not the case, because the thing is, how in the hell would we be afraid of our own people? We wouldn't be out there on the streets teaching our own people. So the main people that we're focused on is our people. You know, we're out there combating them, trying to get them to wake the hell up, to change their life. So you'll lie within yourself. Now, guess what? That is true. But guess what? All races kill each other. It's white on white crime. But why is it ours the only one that's highlighted? It's Chinese on Chinese crime. Because guess what, trendy trans woman? You kill who you are mainly around the most. So white people kill white people. And guess what? Black people kill black people. All races kill each other because that's the majority of the people that they're around the majority of the times. So that's an inadequate comparison. Think about it. We got so-called white people that murder people in the droves. White people are, guess what? At the top of mass shootings. I'm talking about at the top, and we literally just have another one. So you literally didn't even speak to what's going on. You're literally speaking. I'm not worried about them because guess what? Y'all going into captivity. I'm bringing it up because you just try to put us against each other. That's the point. Keep up with the conversation. Shalom, shalom, Sister Odette. How you doing, sis? That's the point. So I'm giving you facts to the things that you are putting out. That's the point. But like you said, we know that y'all going to get y'all judgment. Even like what Brother Yaakov put in there, Zechariah chapter 11 and 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So we see that constantly, even with police officers shooting black unarmed men. Hey, they get away scot-free. They get a free vacation. They get free paychecks. That's just incentivizing them to do what? To kill more of our own people, man. To kill more of our people, man. If you knowing you just going to get off scot-free, I mean, what's the point of you stopping it? I mean, it makes no damn sense. We can go on, and we're going to touch on those scriptures as well. Verse 18, and it reads, and if you would not get for all this, hearken unto me. Meaning what? When you seeing these things going on and you still don't want to keep the commandments and you still don't want to listen to the prophets out there on the streets, it says, I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. Make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass. Meaning what? We will be in a hard captivity, man. That's what this is going into. And we see this right now. Us suffering as a nation of people. Shalom, shalom, Sister Mitra Young. How you doing, sis? We're constantly suffering. And that's because we break God's commandments. So we know ultimately it does fall back on us. The Most High God got to literally do these things to, guess what? Wake our people up to understand why these things are happening. Because Esau is not going to let up, man. He's not going to let up. You can see that these people are the same people. Vince Sereno and Trendy Trans Woman. Ain't nobody using that same terminology like that, man. Y'all some bots on her, man. That's all that is. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse. We're going to start at verse 1. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Mount Seir is the government of Esau. Mountains in the Bible are representation of kingdoms and governments. This is the kingdom of Edom, meaning the so-called Caucasians today. It says, yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure they are. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. Meaning, don't join with them. God is telling us to set our face against them. But Christianity has programmed our people to thinking all races are the same. You won't ever read that in the Bible where the Most High God made the children of Israel the same as the other nations. God made us above all these nations. Let's hold that precept. Let's prove it. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. Let's prove it. Because all races are not equal in the sight of the Most High. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Most High God chose the Israelites to be above all people. So why would we want to meet these people where they're at? Why would we want any dealings? The only reason why we will want that is because you don't know who you are. That's why it's very important to know that you're an Israelite. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. And he's showing us in the scriptures or the true understanding of the Bible for our good, so that we may live in these last days. It's so many counts. So because guess what? The Most High God is trying to reach 144,000. That's the point. We're all going to come together up under Christ. That's the point. That's the whole point. Now, we're cult. I don't know nobody that would want to come and listen in to a cult, because guess what? I'm not going in and listen on satanic cults. I'm not clicking their links. You know, so this is how we know that this is the truth, because they can't stay off the chats, man. They can't. And we know Esau is scared because they know that their time is running out, man. We know. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35. Now, Vince, you could come on here and click the link and we can have a formal debate. Click the link. That's why we upgraded this thing, man. Click the link so we can see your face and you can debate your cause. No, it's not misogynistic. It's just order. Y'all, the nations don't understand order. It's God, Christ, man, woman, children. That's the order. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 3. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. So in the scriptures, it's constantly showing you that the Most High God is against the Edomites. He hates the Edomites. The Most High God, the planet Earth, and the things that's going on in the planet Earth is like one big movie. So you have a good character, you have a bad character. The Israelites are the good characters. The Edomites are the bad characters. You have the other nations as other people that's in the movie that's really insignificant. The main two characters in the Most High God's movie are the Edomites and the Israelites. And the Most High God is prophesying destruction and his hatred against Edom, letting us know if God hates them, that he was going to put them above us to do what? To bring judgment unto us when we break God's commandments. It's just that simple. And that's what we've seen out there in Jacksonville, man. People constantly keep wondering, why is so many police shooters? Why do they treat us like this? Why do they hate us like this? Because it's all grounded in the Bible. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 4. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, meaning a never-ending hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, going into what? The Babylonian captivity. They helped the Babylonians come against us. They cut off the way from the back, because guess what? They're against us, and guess what? We're God's chosen people. That's the whole point. Vince, click the link. That's what he said. The police shoot y'all because no, it's not that. The thing is, you know, it's a difference. Don't white people resist police? White people resist too. Edomites resist other Edomites, but some kind of way they're always taken in safely. I mean, it makes no sense. And the comments that you're putting in here is dumb as hell, showing the hatred that y'all have for us. Even when y'all put it in there, we don't even have to say it. Y'all literally put it in there, nigger. I mean, we see the difference. We see the perpetual hatred that y'all have for us. So, I mean, come on, man. This is the whole point. Oh, no, we already know, sis. We deal with this on a day-to-day basis, sis. You know, that's why we allow them to come in, because we want our people to literally see the hatred that they have for us when they read their comments. So it's no chance for it. Oh, maybe they don't. Maybe it's not. You're literally seeing the hate that they spew on us in the chats, constantly bringing up things, never putting down any scriptures. So these chats are for our people to see these things on the hatred that the Bible says that they have for us. Because when we say it, our people don't believe it. So we have to literally show our people the hatred that they have for us. That's why I tell brothers, don't erase a damn thing, man. Don't erase no comments on my chat, man. Let them show who they really are, man, according to the scriptures, and let it line up. It says, verse 6, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut it off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. So the Most High God is going to utterly destroy Esau. That's why you have prophecies like Obadiah, prophecies like Jeremiah, prophecies like Isaiah, prophecies like Revelations. You constantly see the Most High God is pronouncing great judgment against Edom. You don't see that addressed to no other nation the way it is toward the Edomites, man. That's the whole point. And that's what we're trying to get our people to wake up and acknowledge. Let's jump over. Let's go to the book of Zechariah, even what Brother Yaakov had pulled. Let's go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. And these are just basic precepts, brothers and sisters all should know, especially brothers and sisters that have been amongst our people. So like we say, we're touching on this subject, but we're also doing what? A Q&A. So if brothers and sisters have any questions, you can put it in the comment, or you can click the link and I can bring you on so we can formally talk about it. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Let you know we're in the hand of people who possess us. That's why our last names are their names. You know, that's why we have to do what? Before we even see our check, they already take out their tribute or their taxes. Hence, you know you're still in captivity or being possessed when you have to do what? Pay taxes. A free nation or a sovereign nation does not have to pay taxes. They get taxes paid to them. That's one understanding. And we can prove that too. Let's go to the book of what I want. Matthew's. Let's see. Let's go to the book of Matthew and see. Because even Christ warned us of these things, man. This is what I want. Showing that if you pay taxes, then guess what? You're in captivity. Let's go to the book of Matthew's, chapter 22 and verse 17. Remember, Christ was in a captivity under the Romans. They had to pay taxes, letting them know that they were in some form of captivity. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 17. Tell us, therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? So the Caesar during this time was Tiberius. Letting you know that the Bible is a true book. It says, but Yahweh shall perceive their wickedness, going into the scribes and the Pharisees, trying to catch Christ up. Remember, we're going here to show you what Christ told our people, that we had to what? Pay tribute or to pay taxes, letting us know that we're what? We're not free. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 18. But Yahweh shall perceive their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, whose is this image and superscription? So Christ was letting them know, you know, if you are in captivity, if your face is not on the money. That's why we always ask our brothers and sisters, what race of people rules the world? I don't know. Brother, I don't know. All of us do. And then we tell them to take out a dollar bill or take out any money. What face is on that money? It's the same thing Christ was saying. Whose image and superscription is on this money? This lets you know who is in rulership, brothers and sisters. Plain and simple, man. It says, and they say unto him, Caesar. Then said he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are of God. So it's literally showing you that, guess what? They are in captivity. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 24. This is a precept for where we just came in Matthew 22. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 17 and verse 24. And it reads, and when they would come to Capernaum, they that received the tribute money came to Peter and said, doth not your master pay tribute? And they asked him, trying to catch him up again, do Christ pay taxes? Because they was trying to catch him up to, guess what, be judged by the Romans. Meaning if you're not paying your taxes, they was going to bring charges up on you. Verse 25, he said, yes. And when he was come into the house, Yahweh shall prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take customs or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? So Christ is asking Simon, of whom do the rulers take tribute? Do they take tribute from their own people, or do they take tribute or taxes from strangers? Meaning what? The other nations. Let's see what Peter said. Peter said unto him, of strangers. Yahweh shall said unto him, then are the children free. So it's letting you know you're only free when you what? Don't have to pay taxes. He talking about keep going down there. This is what an Edomite say. No, we don't want to pay no taxes. And guess what? Frankly, we don't care about paying taxes because we know that we're in captivity. Talking about they going down. No, the Israelites shouldn't be having to pay no damn taxes, man. That's the point. They would say he gonna keep fighting for his people, and we expect that. We just want our people to see the nonsense that they spew out, man. I'm talking about the ignorance for him to say that paying taxes is good. And that's what Christianity has deceived our people into thinking, man. Being oppressed is good. You're not treated badly. You can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, what does it mean if they don't give you no damn boots? How the hell you gonna pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you don't even have any damn boots? I mean, it makes no damn sense, man. Our people say we have to wake the hell up. Let's go back to the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. So we see the penalties for what? For breaking God's commandments. To be up under people that constantly oppress us. To be up under other nations that mock. And guess what? Slander our names. Constantly accusing us of things. So we see these things going on in the world. Like we tell brothers and sisters, man, you damn right we not no damn patriots. Hell, we ain't no damn patriots of America. We patriots of the Most High, man. That's where our loyalty lies. So what the hell are you talking about? Shalom, shalom, Sister Zinzin Radio. How you doing, sis? Like I say, click the link, man. Shalom, shalom, Sister Monica. How you doing, sis? So we see these things going on, and we're trying to wake our people up to show them what the hell is going on, why these things are going on to us as a nation of people. It's not going on to no other nation. Just think about it. Africans look like us, but they're not being gunned down the way that we are. Letting you know that it's a difference. They said it has nothing to do with color, but it's all about your bloodline. Your color is not dictated by, your bloodline is not dictated by your color. You are who your father is. That's what we want to let brothers and sisters know that are in this truth, because a lot of times our people are so simple. We think that it's literally about skin color. No, because it's going to be Edomite looking Israelites, but they're not actually Edomites. That's the point, meaning they're of a lighter complexion. We always get an example of Blake Griffin's son. He looks like an Edomite. So that's what we tell brothers when you out there teaching on the streets, judge not according to appearance, but what? Judge righteous judgment according to what? John chapter 7. So we letting our people know it's not about skin color, but it is about your bloodlines, man. That's what it's all about. It says 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 3, it says, now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both men and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. So we see the Most High God constantly doing what? Bringing judgments against the Edomites. And if Saul had did that, we wouldn't be dealing with them today, because Amalek goes back to the fake Jewish people. Hey, y'all, Africans can know. Even Vince knows it's the difference between us and Africans. You see? He know that. You see, Africans know how to be civilized. That's white. Right. No, they don't. You have, think about it. It's not just crime amongst black people. You have crime amongst Edomites. You have crimes amongst Chinese people. That's why they have what? These gangs out there. You have crimes against what? Africans. You have crimes against all nations of people. But we're the ones that's what? Picked up on these things most of the time. And it proves it through the scripture. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. We're the one hid in prison houses. So even when you look these things up, the statistics amongst crimes, you see, now they like to say that we only make up 14% of the crimes, but have higher the things. And to a degree that is true, because guess what? We have been destroyed as a nation of people. But who have had a hand in destroying our people? You know, that's why we're literally out there to get our people to stop killing each other, to apply Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. So we take responsibility for our things, but Esau never takes responsibility for a damn thing. He's the one that's out here doing the most mass shootings on the planet Earth, man. Destroying the planet Earth, polluting the waters, polluting the ozone. And now the Most High God is getting sick and tired of him. He's using him to, guess what, destroy his own people. Even y'all own people are getting tired of y'all, man. That's how bad that this thing is getting. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. Think of how many times we have seen black men being brought back up and found innocent. Put in, I'm talking about in jail for 20, 30 years. Then all they want to do is give them 500,000. No, they should get $1 million for every time they was up in that damn jail that was innocent. And a lot of times these people knew that these people were innocent. And that's the thing. Vince not speaking to that. Rarely do you see other nations being locked up innocently. You're constantly seeing these things throughout. It's been going on so much. I'll try to keep up with it, but it's just so much. And all you see is black and Hispanic men brought out. Another black man, another Hispanic man found not guilty. Did 20 years worth of worth on the sentence. Then when they come out, they want to pay him pennies and nickels. Just think about it. He can never get that time back. Brother may have had a family. Think about it. They lost 20, 30 years. Even just like it was in the movie Life. What that wicked Edomite sheriff say? Well, hell, the state of Georgia got many years of free labor, and that's all that they want, man. They want to continually keep us in that slavery mentality, or literally slavery to, guess what? To reap off the backs and off the blood and hardship of our people, man. Get nothing for get something for nothing. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. The holes is going into the traps, going into religion, going into politics, going into these different type of things that don't profit our people a damn thing. Like we say, our people want to be Democrats. They want to be Republicans. Newsflash, it's different sides of the same coin. Democrats don't give a damn about black people. Guess what? Republicans don't give a damn about black people. Independents don't give a damn about black people. That's why we tell our people, what are you voting for? The things that you need to be voting for is keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments, man. That's the only thing our people need to be worried about, man. That is the only thing that's going to get us out of this situation, man. Verse 22, it says, and they are all hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none deliver it. Meaning what? Democrats not going to deliver us. Republicans not going to deliver us, man. For a spoil, and none said restore. Meaning what? Bring them back to their was. Set them and teach them who they are according to the Bible, man. None of the leaders are doing these things, man. Only the Israelites are out here on the block teaching our people that, guess what? God loves you. You need to come back and repent as an Israelite and turn back to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. This is what our job. Unless we do these things, it's going to get worse and worse, brothers and sisters. That's all that it is. That's exactly right. That's the Psalms 137 and 9. Let's go up. That's exactly right. Shalom, shalom. Even Exodus. Let's get what I pull it. Exodus chapter 17 and verse 16. Captain Yara. This is the book of Exodus chapter 17 and verse 16. That's right. It says, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And this is the thing our people must understand. You must understand who Amalek is. And knowing who you're going to be fighting from generation to generation, man. We see why these things are occurring. Even with Jamie Foxx, man, this brother didn't say nothing against Jewish people. And he said something that pertained, or what they think pertained to Jewish people. And guess what? He got to apologize for something that wasn't even aimed at them. Man, you got Israelites messed up, man. We coming at Jewish people constantly, man, because they know that they're not God's chosen people, man. If they were God's chosen people, why they having super gay parades over there in Israel? You God's chosen people, and it's in the law. Thou shalt not lie with man as with mankind. Come on, man. No, that's not going to shake with the Israelites, man. So we have to understand who these people are to understand who we're going to be constantly at war with. Shalom, shalom, brother Jose. How you doing? Shalom, shalom, Judah King. So we constantly see these things. It's a perpetual hatred, and it's a constant war with these other nations. Mainly who? Esau. He's at the forefront of these things, man. And the Most High God was using him. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 17 and verse 13. Most High God is using him to be the sword or the belt to whoop us back into shape, man. That's it. That's why it's so imperative that our brothers and sisters do what? Repent. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. He's also the wicked according to what? Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. It says, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Most High God is literally letting you know that guess what? The wicked is God's sword to do what? To punish us when we do what? When we break his commandments. And it's just that simple, brothers and sisters. A lot of times brothers and sisters want to be deep, but then they can't understand the simpleness of that, man. It's very, very simple, man. Like I say, Proverbs 16 and 4. Shalom, shalom, brother Dexter. Dexter, how you doing, huh? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 4. The Lord had made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Most High God has even created the wicked to do what? To punish us and then to ultimately be destroyed in the end, man. I mean, it's just that simple. And you got many, many other precepts showing that the Most High God uses the other nations to punish us when we break his commandments. That's why it's very important that brothers and sisters prepare themselves for keeping tabernacles. I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters have been in the truth for a number of years and your ass ain't kept no damn tabernacles or ain't kept Passover. Shame on you, and you will be judged for those things, man. It's many camps out here to where brothers can do what? Put these things aside to guess what? Keep God's high holy days. A lot of times you're not taking off from work, not taking off from your job. Guess what? You better stop putting that job on the Most High God's business, man, or you will be one of these victims, man. That's the point, man. It's imperative that we keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments and stop making excuses. Oh, my job, brother. Brother, brother, I work 7 days a week. I work 24 hours a day. Brother, you better find a way to keep God's law, statutes, and commandments, man, and stop playing the games. Like you said, who you think gave you that job any damn way? The Most High God is the one that gave you the job. So if he gave it to you, he can easily take that job away, man. Stop putting these things before the Lord, man, or it will be consequences for these things, man. They say brothers putting great precepts up in the chat, man. So we constantly see throughout history and throughout the scriptures where the Most High God is doing what? Showing us who our enemies are. Let's get one of the classics, man. Let's go to the book of Nehemiah. Because you have this thing out there, this notion, especially in Christianity, that's pushed, forgive your enemies, love your enemies. That's not talking about the other nations, man. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 5 and verse 9. And it reads, also I said, it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God, because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies. Even Nehemiah warned us. We got to walk in the commandments because guess what? God can reproach us by what? Using our enemies. That's the point, brothers and sisters. We constantly got to walk in the fear of the Most High God, because if we don't, guess what? He uses these other nations to judge us. He uses the weather. That's why he's burning up Hawaii, man. You don't think they didn't have a hand in our captivity, falling up under the lines of Japhet? All nations had a hand in our captivity, man. Let's get there. Let's go to the book of 1 Maccabees. All nations have had a hand in our captivity, man. This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 10. And it reads, What nation had not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her riches? So all nations have came against the children of Israel. So by hence, all nations are going to have to suffer. But the thing is, God is going to make one nation suffer more than all the rest of the nations. And that's going into Esau, because they have had a perpetual hatred for us. Other nations hate our guts as well, but no other nation hate us like the nation of Edom, man. And it stems all the way back from the beginning, man. Let's go back to the book of Genesis. Chapter 25. I want to get straight to the point. Brother, find me that, any brothers or sisters, find me that scripture where it says, where Esau was going to, let's see, rise up and kill his brother. That's the one I want real quick. Your brothers and sisters know that precept. Brothers and sisters know that precept. Put it in. Let's see who can put it in there real quick. And find my other Bible. The day raise up when I will slay my brother. Bear with me. Like I said, brothers and sisters, hey, any scoffers, click the link. That's why we done upgraded. We literally want to see them face to face. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 41. I was right there, but that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for another one. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of, well, this is what I want. The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Thanks, Sister Shamitra. She was quick on the trigger, man. Y'all better come on with it. Shalom, shalom, Sister Genesis. How you doing? So this is the one I was right there, but I thought it was another aspect. Even during this time, remember, this is going into where what? Jacob gave the blessing to who? I mean, Isaac gave the blessing to Jacob. Remember, Esau didn't even want the damn blessing. I'm talking about I'm talking about wicked as hell. I'm going to read this again. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So he have always had a perpetual hatred for his own brother. And this is what people always love to say. Deuteronomy 23 and 7. What was Deuteronomy 23 and 7 right here then, man? I mean, come on, man. They had understanding of the laws, statutes, and commandments. Remember, the laws were on the planet Earth since the time of Adam. They have always been on the planet Earth, man. And we'll prove that. Jump over to the Genesis 26 and verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. So the Most High God had passing it down from a specific lineage. Abraham got the laws, statutes, and commandments. So what do you think he taught Isaac? He taught him the laws, statutes, and commandments. So people can't say that Esau didn't have the laws during this time. No, he had the laws because guess what? His father and his mother told him not to marry of the other nations. Don't marry the Canaanite women. And guess what Esau did? He married them any damn way. Just a rebellious child from the womb. So we see brothers and sisters cannot play those games with that, man. That's exactly right, brother Jerubbaal. That's why I have them leave those comments in there, man. Because every idle word, they're going to be judged for that thing, man. They're literally going to be judged. I know brother Dexter said 32. Let's see what he got there. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 11. And it reads, deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children. So that's another great precept going into where they was going to what? Meet back up. Remember, Esau said that he was going to kill his brother after their father, after they mourned for their father. And this is Jacob praying to the Most High God that he does what? Keep him safe from the hand of his brother Esau. And ultimately, the Most High God put it on Esau's spirit not to do nothing to his brother. So he didn't do nothing to him when they met back up. That's the power that we have. But that lets you know that what? Jacob was keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. Shalom, shalom, brother Phineas Quan. How you doing, Doc? Like we say, we see this constantly. And this perpetual hatred has continued from what? From generation to generation, man. They have literally passed down that spirit from their children, man. We see that. We see it from George Zimmerman. A lot of times when people look at George Zimmerman, they look at him as being a Hispanic or a Mexican. His mom is Hispanic, but his father is Spaniard. His father is an Edomite. So now it should all make sense why he had that perpetual hatred for us as a race of people, why he gunned down young Trayvon Martin. We see that, man. A kid, he literally stalked him like prey and killed him, man. And the Most High God been jacking him up ever since, and I hope the Most High God keep jacking his behind up. You said you're not a scoffer, Janai Barber Jones. I'm not a scoffer, but this link, bro, that says learn more in blue. I don't understand what you mean, Janai Barber Jones. What you mean? Like we say, I put the link in the comment so brothers and sisters can click the link if you have any questions concerning the scriptures. Any scriptures that you may have problem understanding, or if you don't believe the Bible, we could give you precepts on why you should believe the Bible, especially if you Black, Hispanic, or Native American, because we're literally trying to show our people that we are God's chosen people, that we the Israelites according to the Bible. So if you can kind of clarify that for us, sis, Janae. Oh, it goes back up to the top, sis. It should be all the way up at the top. Oh, hold on, sis. Yeah, we just put it in there. I'll put it back in there, sis. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right, bro. Soldier Razatok, like you say, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 17. You know, they have no place of repentance, man. No place of repentance. So we're bringing this class out to show our people who our enemies are according to the Bible. And the reason why these things happen to us, the reason why that thing happened in Jacksonville, man, because our people seen him and didn't think that he was an enemy. Yes, we know we have to live amongst them. We have to work amongst them. That's why I ain't gonna even lie. I understand our people be wanting to move out the neighborhoods and so forth, but it's good Black neighborhoods around areas that people stay in, man. Our people literally want to be around the so-called white man because they envy them, man. It's many good, prestigious Black places where you can live, where you can raise a family without fear of Black on Black crime, man. A lot of times our people do that because they envy their oppressors, man. So I don't want to hear that, oh, you want to move out to be amongst the white people. Guess they don't like your ass either, man. And guess what? I'd rather be around my people because we understand. You seeing Black people walking down, we know how we get down sometimes. Not every time you see a crowd of Black men do you think something's going to go down. Hell, when I was younger, we walked in crowds. A lot of times we were just going to play, guess what, basketball. Sometimes we did a little mischief, but guess what? Most of the time we just really just want to play, have a good time. Like we say, our people have to wake the hell up, man. Let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. And it's nothing wrong with wanting to have your family in a good environment. But like we say, don't negate that it's good Black environments out here, good Hispanic environments out here. Don't never negate those things, man. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. And it reads, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So the Bible says don't envy what they do. That's why we have our sisters liking to do what? Blonde their hair like Esau, perm their hair like Esau, because a lot of times our people do think that white is right because they're ruling as a nation of people that God is literally dealing with them. No, that has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with us, not what? Keeping God's commandments. That's why we're in the situations that we're in. Shalom, shalom. Tasha Stewart, how you doing, sis? Yeah, it's at the very top. I literally just put it in if brothers and sisters want to click on there. So we see these things constantly, man. One of my favorite precepts. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Go to the book of Daniel, man. That's why we got this veil, even like what the captain's been touching on, going into the veil, going into that covering where the Most High God has us in a state of delusion, not in a state of confusion, not knowing what the hell is going on. It's because we break his commandments, and it's plain and simple. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12 and verse, no, I want 11, so like it, or 9. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces as at this day. So even during that time, Daniel was in the Babylonian captivity. Our people were confused, even like how we are today, man. Why do these things keep happening to us as a nation of people? It's simple, brother. It's simple, sister. It's because we're God's chosen people, and it's because we break his laws. And he's using these nations to punish us. It says, but unto us confusion of faces as at this day. To the men of Judah, meaning the southern tribe, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and throughout all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespasses that they have trespassed against thee. So we see these things are happening because we have broken God's laws. That's what trespass, that's what transgress means. Jumping down to verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they may not obey his voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against them. So it's simple, brothers and sisters. That's why we're catching hell on this planet Earth, man. That and that only. It says, therefore, Salakia, let me read up. Verse 12. And he had confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. So the Most High God is letting us know that guess what? The things that have been done, ain't nobody caught more hell than the Israelites, than blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. No nation. So I don't want to hear all nations went into slavery. Well, all nations went into slavery. No, the scriptures say ain't nobody went through what we went through, man. Because the thing is, nations may have went into slavery, but they what? Their heritage wasn't taken from them. Their names wasn't taken. Their way of life. They literally have what you call indentured servitude, where they get from the Bible, the year of Jubilees, where they're supposed to let a servant go, what? In the 7th year for free, an indentured servant. So that's letting you know chattel slavery and indentured servitude are two different things. Chattel slavery is you being the possessors, being possessions of your masters, being never let go free, meaning your children's children will be in captivity forever. That's what they did to us as a nation of people. So we don't want to hear all nations went through this. No, the Bible tells us that ain't nobody caught hell like we caught hell, man. And that's plain and simple, man. And guess what? That's why all nations have to get it. Now, I'm going to tell you, Brother Gerald, hey, the Most High God bringing judgment. I know a lot of times brothers is not equipped or spiritual enough to see it. That's why we seeing hurricanes in California. We seeing wildfires. I mean, the Most High God is judging the earth, man. No doubt about it. And guess what? They're literally being judged for these things. You're seeing tornadoes, you're seeing floodings, you're seeing chemical waste, pestilence. Those things are hitting Esau hard as hell, brother. So they are getting judged to a degree. But we're still catching hell because we're what? We're not repenting as a nation of people. Slowly but surely, more Israelites are rising up. Slowly but surely, excuse me, brothers and sisters. We're rising up. Shalom, shalom, brother Jose. How you doing? Volcanoes, even like Ox says, hey, Most High God ain't playing. So we see these things are occurring. We see brothers and sisters, hey, ain't nobody want no smoke today. Now when we upgrade, we can literally see faces. Ain't all the scoffers done left. Hey, must have been the scriptures convicting them, man. Let's say any brothers or sisters got any comments. Remember, Tabernacles is coming up. We got new moon coming up. We got memorial blowing the trumpets. The 7th month, brothers and sisters, is the heaviest month because we got 4 high holy days in it. So at the beginning of that month, you have the new moon and you have memorial blowing the trumpets. Then days later, you have the Day of Atonement where brothers and sisters must fast together as a nation. Then we have the Feast of Tabernacles. So brothers and sisters want to make sure that they are preparing themselves by practicing fasting. Fasting is where you don't eat or drink anything on the Day of Atonement. Think about the Most High. You congregate as a congregation. That's also in the scriptures as well. Matter of fact, let's get it. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 23. You're afflicting your souls so that the Most High God can hear our prayers, man. We need these things. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 25. Oh, we'll start at verse 24. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month. So it's going into the 7th month, brothers and sisters. It says, ye shall have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing of trumpets. So God's high holy days are considered Sabbaths. It says, and holy convocation, meaning it's a holy gathering. It says, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, ye shall have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein, meaning work that you get paid for. So there's no working on that day. If brothers and sisters can do it. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So we're no longer sacrificing because we don't have the temple. Christ was the ultimate sacrifice. Verse 26, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So on the 10th day of the 7th month, we're commanded to do what? Celebrate the Day of Atonement. On the 1st day is what? New moon and the memorial blowing the trumpets. Then you go down is going into the tabernacles as well. So these are good things that brothers and sisters. Okay, you trash one says, Shalom, Cap. I got a question. What are holy days? Holy days, according to the Bible, you trash one, goes into the book of Leviticus chapter 23, meaning the high holy days that God gave us to celebrate. So you have days like the 7-day Sabbath, where every Saturday we should come together and worship the Most High God. It is the Lord's Sabbath. Then you got Passover, commemorating the Most High God killing the Egyptians to pass over us, to save us. Then you have what we just went over, the Day of Atonement, to where it's a nationwide fast to where we afflict our souls. Then you got Tabernacles, commemorating when the Most High God brought us out of Egypt and had us dwelling tents. You have the Feast of Pentecost, celebrating the first fruits that we give unto the Lord. You have the Feast of Dedication. These are God's high holy days that we should be celebrating. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell you to celebrate Christmas. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell you to celebrate your birthday or any of this madness. What is that? St. Patrick's Day. No Negroes ain't no damn leprechauns, man. Come on, man. Brothers, I don't even know about Ireland, even though some of our people were there. No, we ain't celebrating no St. Patrick's Day, man. We're not celebrating Valentine's Day. We're not celebrating New Year's on January the 1st. No, that's not God's high holy days. These are God's high holy days. Sister Genesis said, Matthew chapter 7, verse 29, Christ taught with authority, not as the scribes. How did the scribes teach? And even like Captain Yara said, like these modern day pastors, let's see how the scribes taught. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 1. Let's see how the scribes taught. This is how they taught, sis. This is the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 1. Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, meaning the things that they tell you to do it. It says that observe and do, but do ye not after their works, for they say and do not. So the scribes would teach people, but they wouldn't be the example. They would teach people the commandments, but they themselves wouldn't be teaching or doing the commandments themselves. So they was being what? They were being hypocrites. They also didn't do what? Jump down. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye have to done, and not to leave the others undone. So they taught the people without having mercy, without having faith, and without giving judgment to our people, sis. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5. What's confusing, Sister Day? Let's go to the book of Matthew. Scriptures on where Christ taught with authority. Go to, or do I want Luke? I don't think it's there. Bear with me. Go to the book of Luke, chapter. What do I want? Luke. Go to the book of Luke, chapter 4 and verse 32. No, Sister Janae Barbie, we cannot do those things. Sister Ass, we can't do any fun made up holidays. I'm just saying. Just in case, a reminder so as to know ahead of time, might as well be to do something the Most High say I shouldn't have done. Yes, because the Most High God gives us the things to celebrate, sis. So we can't add on to what we want to do, sis. We can't do that. Because a lot of times we make up these holidays and we don't understand that these things have origins going back to idolatry, like Christmas. Christmas is the worship of the first Babylonian king, Nimrod, the first king on the planet Earth. When we set up that Christmas tree, you're literally giving homage and worship to him. A lot of times we don't even understand these things, even with your birthday. The birthdays are one of the most satanic holidays that's out there, is the worship of oneself, sis. So you have to understand that these holidays that we want to celebrate, or like we call them holidays, these things have origins in idolatry, sis. But this is the book of Luke, chapter 4 and verse 32, Sister Adelia. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. So we see what Christ, when he spoke with power. That's how we're commanded to teach out there on the streets. People always ask, why do you brothers be hollering? Why do y'all be yelling? Because we teach them like how Christ taught, with power and with authority. Jumping down to verse 36, and they were all amazed and spake among themselves, saying, what a word is this? For with authority and power he commanded the unclean spirits, and they came out. So we constantly see what Christ spoke with authority. And that's how we're commanded to speak for you brothers that go out there on the streets. Shalom, shalom, Brother Damon. How you doing? Sister Jerry Cooper. Will you and the others let us know when the celebrations will be? Always, sis. We always do classes. That's why I'm literally letting y'all brothers and sisters know now. You know, that's why it's very important that brothers and sisters reach out to leadership to get a calendar. We have calendars to where you can keep up with it yourself. But we always put these things out to brothers and sisters on the live feed. So the so like your brothers and sisters, the tabernacles will be September the 30th. It starts September the 30th and it ends on October the 8th. Keep in mind, we're supposed to keep tabernacles for 7 days, but due to captivity, brothers and sisters are not able to take off 7 days. Some brothers and sisters made, like Sister Odetta, who got like 1,000 hours of vacation time. But for other brothers and sisters that don't have that much vacation time, you have to do what you can. So even me, myself, I don't have that much vacation time. So I'm able to take off that Thursday, which we're literally going to do October the 5th, October the 6th, October the 7th, and October the 8th. So the battle axes will be out there for 4 days. And if you want to come gather with us, let us know. The fees are $100 for singles. I mean, $80 for singles and $100 for families. You know, keep in mind, we already have the campsite set up. It takes care of the food, but other things that you may want on your personal things that you will have to bring. Yeah, exactly. You want to make sure, especially on that. I know Mercado Quadros adds, what does Proverbs 8 and 8 explain? Let's go get it right quick. Asking about Proverbs 8 and 8. Yeah, we got you next, Brother Damon. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 8, and it reads, all the words of thy mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them, meaning the words of the Bible are not contrary. They don't go against righteousness. So everything that the Most High God is telling us is righteousness. You know, going into the laws, we also understand that the law, statutes, and commandments are righteousness. God's words in general are righteous, whether we want to hear it or whether we don't want to hear it. You understand that, Mercado Quadros? Let me know if you understand that, brother. If not, we can kind of go into it more. You know, Brother Damon asks Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 5. Let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 5. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 5. Then will I set my face against that man and against his family, and I will cut him off. And all that go are whoring ones, and to commit whoredom with Molech from among their people. So even with that, Brother Damon, that's very plain. The Most High God is letting us know if we worship idols, if they was worshiping Molech, the Most High God was going to kill him and the family. Because a lot of times it's our job to do what? If we see our family member going off, especially during this time, it was our job to what? Let the priest know. Hey, my husband going off. Can y'all bring some type of correction? So a lot of times the Most High God cut off him and his family because guess what? The wife was in agreements with that worship. This is all that this is going into. Let's jump up to verse 1. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that get any of his seed unto Molech. Meaning what? Our people were literally sacrificing their children unto this Canaanite god, Molech. It says, he shall surely be put to death. They were literally sacrificing their own children, meaning burning them as a sacrifice unto this idol god. That's what this is saying. Jump up to verse 1. That's right. Santa Claus is a demon. So you understand that, Brother Damien? That's exactly right. I know, brother, you trash one asked Cap, what is the verse for not celebrating man-made holidays? That's a good question. Let's jump over to the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 23. That's the spirit right there, because it's literally right there. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 23. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nations. Manners of the nation is going into their ways, their customs, their traditions. God is telling us don't walk in their manners. Don't celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate birthdays. Don't celebrate Halloween. Don't celebrate none of these things. All these things have origins in idolatry. I hope brothers and sisters understand it. When people are celebrating Halloween, go back and look at the origins of that. Even like what Brother Dexter is talking about. Go back and look at the origins of Christmas. Go back and look at the origins of these things, man. These things are deep rooted in idolatry and wickedness, man. It says, and ye shall not walk in the manners of the nations, which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. So that's the precept showing us not to celebrate these things. Janae Barbie Jones. So if one has a gift of writing stories, which I'm about to get into, how must I write through make up a princess? Only black female princes, no queer ones. How much? Now, it's okay to tell stories about that, sis. You know, it's nothing wrong, because our people literally do need to see that. You know, it's nothing wrong as you being a writer to make up stories with our people's images and our likeness in it. There's nothing wrong with that, sis. You know, you just want to make sure that you, like, it's clear cut, and the things that's in that writing is not going against the scriptures. It's not to say like with our people, you may have a brother that do comic books or something like that. You know, you want to make sure that, like I say, if you're doing those things, because we do need more writers and, you know, more books with our images and with things that, guess what, that we can attest to, and that we can have more understanding and showing the likeness of our people and how we are. You know, so it's nothing wrong with that. You just want to make sure that it's not lining up with going against the Bible. That's a good question. Day of Atonement would be 3 days before. Salakia. 3 days before the. I have to get my calendar. But guess what? We have the calendar, which is the scriptures. So let's go back to Leviticus 23. So the Day of Atonement will be the 10th day of the 7th month. So when we jump down to Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 34, it says the 15th day of this month. So Tabernacles will be what? 5 days later. So if Tabernacles is on September the 30th, you would do what? Count 5 days ahead. So Day of Atonement would lie on September the 24th to the 25th. Brothers and sisters, understand that. Day of Atonement is on September the 24th at sundown to September the 25th. Hey, Brother Jonathan Scotty, if you could take all days off, damn, you must got a lot of vacation hours, man. I need to work where you working at, man. I mean, some people do have a lot of vacation hours. I know my wife jobs give them a lot, you know, so, and she don't be doing a damn thing. Yes, we already have lessons on Tabernacle, sis. You go to Battle Axes of the Most High and type in Tabernacles. Remember, we're going to be doing classes on these things, but if you want to get and watch previous classes of these things, feel free to do so. I know Brother Renoir said, I'm calling in sick. Hey, I know a lot of brothers said, hey, I'm calling in sick, man. Hey, do what you got to do, man. Damn, Esau. But you don't want to jeopardize your job. But hey, you know, we want to make damn sure that we keep God's commandments. That's for damn sure. I know Brother Dexter said Acts chapter 7, verse 42 is a precept for Leviticus 20 and 5. Let's get that right quick. Acts 7 and 42. This is the book of Acts chapter 7 and verse 42. And it reads, Then God turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets. O ye house of Israel, have ye offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? Verse 34 is the point. Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Molech and the star of your god Rephaim, figures which ye have made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. So that is a great precept. Brothers and sisters want to make sure that they put Leviticus next to Acts chapter 7 and verse 42 and go vice versa. Yeah, most definitely, Sister Jerry Cooper, we'll give you a calendar. Just reach out to me with my number in the description. Call me and I can send a picture over one to you, sis. That's exactly right. Colossians 2 and 8, exactly. The number is in the description, sis. When you click off the video, go back down to the YouTube page and you will see our numbers in the scripture. Yeah, that's a sister. I know, Slick Rick, do you think people never heard God speak? Well, yeah, they heard, but they was afraid as hell. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Any brother or sister know what that precept is? Remember, man, this is just not a class. This is a class for brothers and sisters to be learning. I'm going to constantly be asking y'all precepts to make sure if y'all reading. What precept showing where the children of Israel didn't want God to speak with them? Who got the precept? Yeah, that would be something good, Official Gang TV. Somebody literally making a movie about Yahushua, showing our images and showing what actually happened according to the scripture, piece scene by scene. That would be something great. Who got the precept where the Most High God didn't want, where the children of Israel didn't want God speaking to them? Yeah, we know. We know, Vince. We know you're going into captivity and then you're going to be burned off the planet, man. And you just making the scriptures proof, man. They perpetual hatred, man. You know, just a perpetual hatred. I know Brother Dexter said Exodus what though? Exodus 3. Because I know y'all typing in her fast. Who got the precept, man? All praise. Who put that in there? Sister Mitra, y'all. Hey, Sister Mitra, y'all better come on with it, man. Sis on it, man. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 19. And it reads, And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us. I want to start up. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mounting smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. So they did not want to hear the voice of the Most High God. You know, God speaks as his son did, with power and authority. But God is on 1,000,000 times powerful. He's speaking with the thunder, lightning. No, you're going to know when the Most High God is speaking, man. You're going to know. Ezra Yasharallah, Exodus 20:19. That's right. That's exactly right. Let me go back up. I'm going to tell you, man, you know, Vince, you know, Edomites are cowards. That's why they always trying to come up behind and take down the women, the children, and the weaker people. He ain't going to click the link because he's a scared Edomite. Yeah, now what he was talking about, because they did not want to hear the voice, because God is speaking with power and authority. That's the point. So even when it thundered and then lightning, hey, they did not want to hear it. So that's why the Most High God, they had Moses speak to him. But it's just a point. Let me go back up. No, Official Gang TV. What's the sum of the scriptures in the Bible? Explain we the Jews. What you mean? Trying to get as many precepts as I can. You have to put it back in there. I don't understand. He said, what's the sum of the scriptures in the Bible? Yeah, you have to write that again. I don't. Yeah. Yeah, put your comment back in the board, Official Gang TV, so we can adequately answer your question. Oh no, Janae Barbie Jones, I have a question about our food. A woman from TikTok doing regular videos has once offered to give me you better not get no tarot reading, and I non-hesitatingly rejected her offer. All praises, but she said this in one video, this black people taste. Yeah. Don't get those tarot card readings or none of that stuff. That goes into witchcraft, sis. And we were just dealing with a sister on this yesterday. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divinations, or an observer of times. That tarot card reading, because they're trying to predict your future, trying to predict if you're going to get a man, all these different type of nonsense. All you need to do is go through the scriptures. It says, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, like Sister Cleo. Y'all know that thing that we used to watch growing up. Or a consulter with familiar spirits, meaning what? Conjuring up your mom, conjuring up your dad, even like how Whoopi Goldberg was on that movie Ghost. We shouldn't be doing those things. It says, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. So we shouldn't be getting into those things at all, sis. What do you mean by buds, sis? So buds are different. That's why your food tastes differently. Vince, we don't give a damn about you, Esau. Moses and the commandments at the mountain. Yeah, he ain't gonna push the link out. Revelations 1:15. People really can't fathom how scary the Father would actually sound. That's exactly right. You trash one brother. Why do they scoff? Esau mad his grandpa sold his birthright. Yeah, this is. I don't know how to kick. It says, what are some scriptures in the Bible that prove we are God's chosen people in the Bible? So let's go to it. So when you want to know who God's chosen people are, Official Gang TV, all you should do is go to the curses in Deuteronomy. The curses in Deuteronomy identify God's chosen people. And it's just that simple. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 16. And we are identified by the curses. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So God said for the children of Israel, breaking his commandments, he was going to put curses or make bad things happen to us. And we're identified by the curses in the Bible. Let's read the first curse and let's see who this applies to as a nation in totality, not just singularity. Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city and cursed shalt thou be in the field. When you think of all the races on the planet Earth, what races of people suffer the most in the cities? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. For one, we're in the hoods, we're in the ghettos, we're oppressed by the police, we're oppressed by each other. Guess what? We're the first fired, we're the last hired. They set up laws that constantly go against us. They set up liquor stores everywhere. They set up what? unclean foods everywhere in our neighborhoods. Think about these things, man. Now, what were we cursed at in the fields? We were cursed in the cotton fields, the sugarcane fields. All these fields to do what? On the plantation fields. Even like we say in the modern work field today, first fired, last hired. We're paid, guess what, pennies upon dollars compared to Esau. You know, you can literally look these things up. Let's read some more curses. It says, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Meaning what? The businesses that us as Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans won't last from what generation to generation. Neither will it last. It really won't even, guess what, be overseas. Like you have McDonald's in China. You have McDonald's everywhere. Where do we see a Sweet Georgia Brown everywhere? You have some of these mom and pop stores that's only in that community, and they're literally on their last leg. Like, and this is living proof. Even my old partner, you know, they reconstructed and remodeled this place in Dallas, Texas that we call the Cliff Club. And I found out after literally just getting this thing built up, they already done closed it down. I'm talking about already done closed it down. It says, let's jump down. Let's hit on some home hitters. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter. These are, you literally can go through all these things, but we'll literally have to break it down to you for you to really get the good understanding. Let's jump down to verse 30. It says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Meaning what? You're promised to a wife. Think about what happened to our women in slavery. They were married, but another man shall lie with her. Meaning the slave master could take and rape your wife anytime that he wanted to. What nation of people did that happen to? That didn't happen to all races like it happened to our race of people. That's the point. We cannot lose that thought as a race, not individually, but as a race of people. Let's keep reading. It says, thou shalt build an house and shall not dwell therein. What is that going into? We built Mouse's house, but we couldn't dwell in there. We built the White House. We built up all of this empire, but we do not stay in those places as a means of authority and rulership. That's only given to the other nations, mainly the so-called white man. We don't stay in those places. It says, verse 30 again, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Who was working in the plantation fields? We were. So-called white man didn't work in the plantation fields, man. Think about these things. How can they be God's chosen people when they never went through these curses, man? We're still going through these curses today. How in the hell can they be God's chosen people when God said that he was going to put us back in that land? They put themselves back in that land. Let's keep reading. It says, thy ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Meaning when what? When they came over, they killed off the buffalo for the Native American Indians to do what? Starve them out. When they took over Jerusalem, they took over our cattle. They took over our resources. They took over our inheritance. It says, thy ass shall be violently taken from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue. Verse 32 is key too. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Who daughters and sons were given to another race of people? Even when you pull it up with Kizzy on Roots, when they took Kizzy from from Kunta, what could they do? They couldn't do nothing but sigh and cry, man. It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. Meaning when what? When social services is called on our people today, guess what? They still take our children today, man, without it really even being any cause. You have to go through measurement upon measurement to try to get your children back, man. This is not happening to all races like it's happening to our people, because we don't have no economic might to get them back or no military might to get them back. Let's jump down. Verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall leave thee. I'm going to tell you, a byword has been called outside of your God-given name. Vince just put it in there and calling us niggers. What other nation is called niggers? And guess what? Bywords and proverbs as the way that we are. What's some of the proverbs or stereotypes that's against black people and Hispanics? All black people like to eat chicken. You want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. All Mexicans carry a switchblade. These are stereotypes that's placed on us and no other race of people. Let's get some more good ones. Let's jump over. It says, verse 41, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Making reference back to what happened to our people in slavery. Even in 1492, you had the so-called Spaniards doing what? Taking our people of the northern tribe, Mexican and Indian Americans, over to on ships into Spain and to Portugal. Let's get some more. Let's jump down to verse 46, because this is the key right here of Fisher Gang TV on how we know we the Israelites. And they shall be upon thee for a sign. What is the they? The they is the curses. The curses are upon God's real chosen people for a sign. What does a sign do? It identifies you. It identifies something. So these curses are identifying who God's chosen people is in these last days. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Let's get some more. Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger. Meaning, if we want food, we have to serve our enemies. Meaning what? Work at their jobs. Who owns all the grocery stores in America? You may have a black person own a small chain, but you have the Walmarts that own a chain of Walmarts worldwide. You have Kroger's, you have Albertsons. These are so-called Edomite nations, man, that own these things. It says in hunger and in thirst. Name me one black person that own a water company, man. People say, well, the government own the water company. Nigga, who is the water company? I mean, so-called Caucasians. Let's stop playing the games. That's why they're able to pollute our people with that water in Flint, Michigan. You think if black people own that, they'll be polluting their own people, man? Come on, man. Unless they're a coon. It says, and in thirst and in nakedness, meaning the clothing that we wear. Who owns the majority of the cotton fields? You have Sean John. He makes clothes, but show me a cotton field that he owns. He says, in nakedness and in want of all things. Meaning anything that you want, you have to go to your enemies for, man. You want a driver's license. You want a birth certificate. You want a death certificate. We have to go to them if you want these things. It says, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. What nation of people had yokes of iron on their necks? The only reason the yokes of iron was taken off our necks because we were destroyed as a nation of people. We knew we were destroyed because guess what? We didn't want to go back to Africa. We wanted to stay there with Mouse. Real people that understand who they were, they would have actually left this country, man. That's why they was able to take the yokes off, because we what? We learned Matthews 5:44. Forgive your enemies. Do good to them that hate thee. That's not the correct understanding. Verse 68 is the key. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. When you read in the Bible, Egypt signifies something. Egypt signifies slavery. So God is letting us know that he was going to send us back into Egypt, meaning slavery, but this time with ships. Who is the only race of people to go into ships, go into slavery on ships? So-called white men didn't. The Chinese didn't. The Japanese did. They were indentured servants. Then they had a time to work, and then they were free. It says, with ships, by the word whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning we wasn't going to see our homeland, Jerusalem or Israel, no more again. You ask a black person today, so-called black person, where your homeland? They're going to say Africa. Knowing that, guess what, our people hadn't seen it as a nation of people. Yeah, you had certain small parts of our people go back, but that's very, very small. Most High God is talking about as a nation. It says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Meaning when you got off those slave ships, you were what? You were sold. This actually happened to us. Textbook. Yeah, that's right, sis. We're not worried about them. Revelations 21:8. I said, she said our food tastes different because our taste buds are different from white people. That's why it tastes better. She said this, the other, that they offer tarot reading that I reject. All praises. You reject that stuff. I know Slick Rick says in 1 John chapter 2, verse 3, can you break that down for me? Yeah, and that's an easy one to break down too. Very, very easy, but we will break that down for you, brother. This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And it reads, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. So this scripture is letting us know this is the only way we know God is by keeping his commandments. Like we asked a brother, talk with twins where they was at the job or whatnot. And this brother said that he knew Christ. You know, and I asked him, do you keep his commandments? Yeah, I keep some. Well, brother, do you keep Passover? Do you wear your fringes? Or you grow on your beard? Do you eat pork? Do you celebrate these things that Christ celebrated? Well, no. Well, then I asked, do you really know God? And he had to concede. Like, no, I really don't know God. You don't know him according to the Bible unless you are keeping his commandments. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keep it not his commandments is a liar. So you saying that you know Christ and you're not doing what Christ did, you are a liar. And the truth is not in him. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. So this is the only way you love the Most High God, is by keeping his commandment. No, Slick Rick said, what does he mean by keep? When it means by keep, it means to do. Like, brother Slick Rick, you're commanded to wear a beard on your face. You're commanded not to eat pork in the book of Leviticus 11 and 7. You're commanded to keep the 7-day Sabbath, meaning go to church on Saturday, not Sunday. You're commanded to keep Passover. You're commanded not to keep Christmas. This is what it means to do. You understand, Slick Rick? Brother Damon, don't worry about it. They just scoff. Hey, I like them on her. That's exactly right. It means to do, to do. Yeah, he ain't gonna click it. Yeah, I know it's silly to you, Vince. That's because you're an Edomite. So we don't expect you to wear fringes. I mean, how dumb is that? Official Gang TV, was your house shot hung on a tree like they? That's exactly right. So he was this is where you have to go and research history. So he was crucified on a cross or a tree. Remember, a cross is made out of a tree. And traditionally, they did it in the form of an X, not in what people got today as a T. You know, you have to go and research these things. So, yes, he was hung on a tree, nailed to a tree, literally nails through his wrist and left up there to die. So it is great symbolism on how they hang out people today on trees. What nation of people is known for being hung on trees? You know, I mean, there's just too many similarities pointing to the things that they went through to the things that we go through today, man. Showing you that we must be those same people, man. It's not a coincidence. God don't deal in coincidence, man. Now, playing games, is nothing wrong with it per se, but you don't want to play games to accept it. Because sometimes I play with my son on his game. You know, we played Avengers. I mean, I like the game. It was another game we played too. But I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing it instead of going to Sabbath class or doing the work of the Lord. You know, it's okay to play these things. Now, you have brothers that may play it and it keeps them totally distracted from doing God's work. No, that's where it becomes a sin. That's where it becomes idol worship. And you don't want to never put nothing above what the Most High God is telling you to do. That's exactly right. But what does it have to do to be perfect? So this is what it has to do. One thing you're going to learn, Slick Rick, is that the Bible is redundant. It's repetitive. So it's saying the same thing over and over again. Further letting you know that we God's chosen people. What nation of people is more hard-headed than blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Just think about our children. We have to tell them how many times? 3, 4, 5 times to kind of do something. I constantly have to get on a little bit of now about doing things. Boy, you better go in there and clean your room. Then you really have to put the hammer down and really threaten him to clean his room. It's the same thing. The Bible is repetitive in that aspect. Let's go to the book of Psalms. Let's see what is being perfect according to the Bible. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect. Meaning when you are keeping God's laws, that's what makes you perfect. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So you keeping God's laws is perfect. Remember, it's a difference between God's perfect and the world perfect. The world's definition of perfect is meaning not making a mistake. That's not the definition that God's perfect. God knows that you're going to fall, but the thing is, to be perfect is by you getting back up, striving to keep God's commandments. It's not to say that you're not going to have some shortcomings. The shortcoming is when you don't pick yourself back up and I can't keep the commandments. I'm just going to keep sinning. No. The thing is, hey, I may have sinned. You repent for that, but then you strive back to keep the commandments. That's what being perfect truly is. And that's what Christ warned us to be, man. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So why would Christ tell us to do something that he knew we couldn't do? We can be perfect. We can keep God's commandments. Yeah, we want them to keep ducking that snow. Yeah, we know you ain't, because your ass is scared like an Edomite. That's how we know you Esau. Yeah, at least he admitted he will lose. No, we not. We have decorum because we want you to get your thought out. So we're not going to overtalk you, not going to do anything. The only thing that we ask you is that you pull Bible verses. That's where Israelite brothers get agitated, when Christians just talk and they're not pulling any scriptures. So if you come on here, click the link, and if you use scriptures, hey, we have decorum. We understand on how to deal in decency and in order. You know, I'm very patient. I'm probably one of the most patients, you know, so you can click the link. You know, we have the coin, but we ain't going to be coming with that bull, you know. Official gang, like me and my brother do YouTube and post content, but we get off and tune into class and learn stuff. But is it wrong for us to post content on YouTube videos of 2K? I mean, it's not. It's no sin against that, brother. You know, you don't want to get to where you're trying to be over righteous. The thing is, long as these things are not breaking God's commandments, you know, you're okay. The thing is, brother, you don't want to get to where you do those things more than you are trying to keep God's laws or do the work of God, brother. That's the breakdown. When you're doing those things more than you're reading, more than you're watching videos, more than you should be doing the work of God, that's where it's a problem. And that's where, if your right arm offend thee, cut it off. Meaning, if you have some things that's going contrary to the Bible, cut those things off, because you don't want to put none of those things above the Most High. No, it's not, because we literally just said that. And you see how Vince says things that are contrary to the Bible. So Vince is using his own words, just like Edomites do. They use their own words by saying you can't be perfect. It's impossible. But Christ literally just said that, guess what? Be ye therefore perfect. So why would Christ tell us to do something and he know we couldn't do it? No. And I literally just explained God's perfect is different from the world's perfect. You know, we don't expect them to understand. Khan means like okay or yes, like an agree. So when we say Khan, it means like yes in Hebrew. Lexi Lou, how you doing, sister? Another Edomite here, Faye. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, remember, a lot of times even Vince say, I used to be like a thug, what you would say, a drug dealer. But that's why it's so imperative that our people come into the truth and start keeping the commandments so that they can change. Stop being drug dealers. Stop being thugs. So we expect our people to come in with these conditions, being thugs, drug dealers, smokers. But the thing is not to stay in that position. Who got the precept in the book of Matthew? where Christ, that's why he's literally sat among the publicans and amongst the sinners to get our people to do what? To wake up and repent. That's the whole goal, you know. What question, sis? Put it in there, because you know the spirit do work like that. Who know what I'm talking about? Who in the spirit? Christ came to call. Let me try to find it. Hey, I'm talking about, say, Bruce, lighten your butt up, Vince. Over righteous means where, like how some of our brothers do in certain camps, where a brother may have a grow a beard, but he tell you, brother, don't get an edge up. You know, that would be considered like being over righteous. You're cutting into your beard. You're supposed to let it all grow. What it means, it true enough, it says don't mar or don't destroy, meaning don't cut into the natural line of your beard. The thing is, if you know you can grow a wide beard, don't be getting a little chin strap. But if you edge it up and it's still wide enough, you may have some little hairs like I'm doing right now. See, I still got hairs at the top, but even right here, my beard is still wide. It's still a full beard. So you may have brothers saying, don't do that. Don't. That will be considered over righteous in instances like that. No, wearing garments and fringes in public is not being over righteous. That's keeping the commandments. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell you not to do that. So that's dumb as hell, Vince. Yeah, but like the scriptures say, hey, throughout your generation. So guess what? We're still generating in 2023. I'm gonna tell you, Vince, we know Edomites are dumb, but you probably got to be at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Esau. You literally at the bottom. How do you get the understanding of the Bible? Because it's hard to understand. No, it's not hard, brother. But the first thing you want to do is do this. Let's go to the book of Psalms 111 and 10. Basic precept all brothers and sisters know or trained to know when you come into the truth. This is the book of Psalms 111 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. So to have a good understanding of the scripture, Slick Rick, you must be keeping God's commandments. Plain and simple. If you're not keeping the commandments, you won't understand the Bible. You just won't. That's why we have dumb people like Vince in here. They're scoffing because they don't understand the Bible. No, that's where we at. If you understand, and he's speaking right into my point, dummy. I'm talking about Vince dumb as hell. That's why Christ came to give us grace and mercy. So we don't do that. Grace and mercy has nothing to do with you not wearing your fringes. That's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No, I'm a prophet of the Most High. Bible Lifestyle. Do y'all have a group in? No, we don't. You know, we trying to pray that the Most High God sends us laborers to these places, you know, where people like our teaching and like our spirit, you know. So we just pray that the Most High God send us brothers this way so we're able to start up a camp in Illinois. Yeah, show me a scripture in the Bible where it tells you cannot have gold teeth. Show me that. Show us the scripture, and I'll show you a scripture in the Bible where you can. You know, so like we say, notice, this is how you know scoffers. Scoffers are the ones that come in and they don't pull any precepts. You know, they talk to try to do what? To distract the people. And the Most High God, we use this as an example. Like we said, that's why I don't mind them coming in there, because every time he says something, he's saying things that are not in the scriptures. And what do? We literally go to the scriptures and show him things that are in the Bible. This is the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 10. And it reads, thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. So this is our spirit. The Most High God made us to be this type of way, to love gold. That's why I wear gold chains. It says thy cheeks. What is in your cheeks? Your teeth are comely with rows of jewels. So you have people that have what? Gold or jewels in their teeth. So, I mean, that's he's wrong. Luxie Lou, she said, last class you mentioned we're on the fifth seal. What world catastrophes do you see that led you to believe that? Remember when we went over that, sis, we know we're in the fifth seal because in the sixth seal, immediately nuclear bombs are going to go off. So nuclear bombs hadn't went off. So by process of elimination, that lets you know we're what? In the fifth seal. Let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 12. Remember that because I kind of covered that extensively. So remember, the sixth seal is letting us know when the nukes are going to start going off. So if the nukes hadn't started going off and World War III is not kicked off, that lets us know that we're what? In the fifth seal. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 12. It says, and I beheld when I had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, going into the effects of a nuclear weapon. Meaning when a nuclear weapon hits the planet Earth, it sends up like it's an earthquake going on. That's how strong the impact is. And the sun became black as sackcloth, because when the impact of a nuclear missile hits, it shoots all the dust and debris up into the sky, and it blocks out sunlight. It says, and the moon became as blood, and all the stars of heaven fell to the earth, going into other thermonuclear weapons falling to the earth. It's going into that, and it's going into satellite dishes falling from the sky from the effects of an EMP blast. So if this hasn't happened yet, sis, that lets us know that we're in the what? In the fifth seal. That's how you know, sis. Put it in the chat if you understand that, sis. Shalom, shalom, militant. How you doing? I haven't seen you in there in a while. Yeah, we know. We don't care. We love our brothers anyway. We all correct each other. You know, we all correct each other. You know, so, hey, if it's correction warranted, even if it's from our brothers from GMS, we take it. So we don't feel no type of way about that. See, this is what the devil do. The devil always want to come and stir up division. But, you know, we smarter than that, man. That's why we keep the commandments. Leviticus 19:17, love thy brother. You know, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. So we understand the differences of doctrine, that is going to be differences of doctrine, and we don't hate our brothers for that. So yeah, we want them to keep scoffing. Yeah, we know you're redneck because God said that you was red. Yeah. How was the last prophet he lied? I'm talking about, boy, this he just keep getting dumber and dumber, ain't it? So what was Christ? What was John the Revelator? I mean, come on, man. It was dumb as hell to say. Slick Rick, did y'all make a discourse? What you mean by that, Slick Rick? Now, the thing about it, if you're new in the truth, is going to be differences of doctrines, not necessarily that it's discourse made. You know, we don't take it as that. I kind of laugh at it. You know what I'm saying? So, no. Captain Benaniyah, I sent you a request to the number via text for a copy of the calendar. Okay, all praise. I'll get it to you after this class, sis. Will the battle axes go to other places in Georgia besides? Lord's will, we will. You know, Lord's will besides ATL. You know, Lord's will. Yeah, it's like asking. He wouldn't even know the answer to that, brother Dexter. I'm talking about he dumb and he keep making himself dumb as hell. Angels are Israelites. Not all of them. It's different types of angels, man. He dumb as hell. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 1 and verse 39. Unto whom I will give for leaders, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Hoseas, Amos, and Micah, Joel, Obadiah, and Jonas, Nahum, and Abekad, and Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord. So Malachi was called an angel of the Lord. These are angels. They are messengers of the Most High. It's not just celestial angels, but it's terrestrial angels as well, meaning the Israelites, because we are the messengers of God because we speak with God's words. Yeah, exactly. And that's another precept too. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 11, where we can have gold. So he crazy. Yeah, it did too for me too, sister. That was like, damn, gold's in the Bible. Like ding, 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 ding. Hey, these things are in the Bible because this is our spirit. Our people were made to be the leaders on the planet Earth. So it's not a coincidence when we start putting golds in our mouth. Now the world does it. We love to wear jewelry and gold chains. The world does it, you know. Are you sure you understand that, Luxy Lou? I'm going to tell you, sis, I know you may be new to the truth. That may be a little deep, but even how we break it down is very simple. Now, we ain't out of no Jacob's trouble, and you ain't Jacob. Your trouble ain't even began to start yet on how the Most High God is going to do you, Vince. Oh, man. Oh, man, I can't wait, man. He going to tear y'all butts up, man. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 18. Boy, y'all going to get towed off the frame. It ain't going to even be funny how God going to do y'all, boy. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord had spoken it. So y'all going to be completely obliterated. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 63 and verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteous, mighty to save. So this is what you would call a question and response. This is coming from Isaiah talking to Christ. This is talking about Christ. I that speak in righteous, mighty to save. Now, why is he coming from Edom? Let's keep reading. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? So Isaiah is asking Christ, why are you red in your apparel? It says, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. So Isaiah asks Christ, why does it look like you've been stomping grapes in the wine fat? Let's see what Christ has said. He says, I have trodden the wine press alone. The wine press is going into the nation of Edom, man. It says, I have trodden the wine press alone. And of the people there was none with me, for I would tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So Christ is letting Isaiah know that it wasn't grapes, it was literally blood. And Christ is going to be going through the nation of Edom, stomping out Edomites, killing them, man. This is literally what this is saying, man. And he said he didn't have no help. He didn't have the Israelites. He didn't have the angels. Christ is going to do this himself, man. It's going to be terrible for y'all, Vince. You know, it's going to be a sad day, man. To make it plain upon tables, this is a black man that's going to be stomping out white folks. We got to make it plain for our people, man. Plain as day, because Christ is a black man. And the Edomites are the Caucasian race today. Let's keep reading. Verse 4, for the day of my vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Israel is the only redeemed of the Lord. Verse 5, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. So Christ is letting us know the anger and angrier he got, the more and more Edomites he killed, man. This ain't no joke, man. This ain't no joke. This thing making me tremble right now. Verse 6. And I will tread down the people in my anger and make them drunk in my fury. And I will bring down their strength to the earth. That ain't no joke, man. And that's the penalties that they're going to suffer for doing what? What they did to God's chosen people, man. Hell mentality change. History question. Why didn't the last time nukes was dropped, it didn't count? I'm just asking. Well, it didn't count because that was not against America. You know, that was that talking about. The Bible prophesied about those things, that the Most High God created a smith that bloweth in the coals, that's bringing forth an instrument for his destruction. But that didn't count because that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That wasn't dropped on America. You're going to have it now to where these nuclear bombs, there's going to be so many nuclear bombs going off that it's going to move Earth on its axis and move mountains and islands out of their place. So you're going to have thermal World War III. That was just America dropping bombs on Japan. Yeah, we don't believe in witchcraft either. That's against the commandments. So what are you talking about? Yeah, I did too. No, Christ is not God. He is a God, but he's not the Most High God. Yeah, because the Trinity is not in the Bible, old dumb one. Oh, okay. Praise. We kind of look into that. I kind of like StreamYard. Like we say, we get brothers on here if they click the link. No scoffer don't want to click the link, or for anybody that want to click the link. No, we don't know exactly the date nor the time. Most High God put it in his own time. Yeah, no one knows that. Not even Christ knows that. Showing you that he's not God. How can he be God if he don't know the date and the time, which the Lord had put in his own hand? Let's see. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 36. But of that day and of that hour no man know. No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So it's literally telling you only God knows the time. This is the day. Hey, we don't give a damn if you don't think the Apocrypha is inspired. God say otherwise. You're not Jacob's seed because Jacob's seeds come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Esau. You were Edomite. So you admitted it. So even by your own confession, you know, that's how. Revelation 13 and 10, that's right. He changed his picture. I bet he did too. Yeah, it ain't, you know. Yeah, that's right. He is King Breeze. We're going to let him keep talking about him too. He can tie himself off. Yeah, Obadiah is beautiful poetry, sis. It really is. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I hadn't read that in a minute, Brother Dexter. Jeremiah 30 and 16. All of your adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. All they that devoured thee shall be devoured. Is Lucifer the father of Edom? Yes. Those are his children. Just like God has children manifest on the earth, guess what? Satan has children manifest on the earth. When you go to the book of Isaiah, we'll get it. Isaiah 14:21. They are Lucifer. You know. Let's go to the book of 1 John. The children of the devil are manifest, and the children of God are manifest. Let's go to the book of 1 John chapter 3. Then we'll get ready to get up out of here. We want brothers and sisters just to be prepared by things getting worse and worse, but You're being prepared because you're constantly going through the scriptures, understanding these things. That's the point. That's why the Most High God literally wrote these things to give us a heads up. This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 9. And it reads, whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of God. In this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. Well, they keep saying they talking about they are brothers, but he keeps saying them post nigger on here. No, he's not our brother. He's not our brother. He don't keep the commandments of God, and he's an Edomite. So God has children on here when you read the book of Luke chapter 3 verse 38. And guess what? Satan has children on the planet Earth as well. Let's get that. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 22. The Bible talks about everything, man. It's pivotal that brothers and sisters watch these classes because we touch on many topics, man, many topics. This is the book of Isaiah. So when you read verse 14, it's going into Esau on a deeper note, and it's going into the people we going to put in captivity. The book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. He didn't say that the Jewish people was going to set themselves in their own land by the Balfour Declaration in 1948. No, they did that on their own. No, God is literally going to take us with the chariots out of Babylon and place us in the wilderness, in our homeland. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Let's jump down. Verse 10. All that speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Meaning what? These are the other nations that the Most High God is using to come against Esau. Going into Russia, going into China, going into these other superpowers outside of America. They showing that, guess what? America is literally growing weaker and weaker and has become like these other superpowers. It says, all they speak shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So it's literally saying, so Christianity would take this to say, oh, this is where Lucifer fell from heaven and came and dwelt among men and had sex with men. No, this is not what this is talking about. This is talking about Esau falling from his rulership over the planet Earth. The Most High God is using hip talk or similitudes and parables to convey a message. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Because it's not just one type of heaven. The Bible talks about 4 different types of heaven. Heaven number 1 is where the Most High God dwells, which is called the third heaven, according to 2 Corinthians, where Paul speaks about it. Then you have space is considered heaven, where the stars, the moon, and the sun reside. The sky is considered the heaven. When you read in the book of Genesis chapter 7, verse 11, where it says the fowls of heaven fly in the sky. It's literally showing you that, guess what? Birds don't fly in outer space. They fly in the sky. And the 4th definition of heaven is going into rulership over the planet Earth. This is the heaven that it's talking about. This is the book of Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Meaning, son of the morning makes reference to they were the ones to bring forth light and wisdom to the nations. That's why it's no coincidence they have the Statue of Liberty for when the immigrants, when they're coming in New York, she has that wood in her hand. That candle that's lighting the way, the lighting the path to the nations, meaning come here. You can get our light. You can get our understanding. You can get our way of life. Come and learn amongst us. That's why it's no coincidence all the world elites or people that are trying to be doctors, they come to America to get the best colleges, the best schools, and so forth. So this is what this is making reference to. It says, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? I'm going to keep going, because they weakened the nations by them dropping that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. When they did that, the world powers knew, like, hey, don't mess with America, man. They'll drop a bomb on you, man. They signified them as being the world leader of the superpowers. Verse 13, for thou hadst said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. Meaning what? Doing space exploration, putting satellites in outer space, having a space station in outer space. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. Meaning they will start to rule over the Israelites. The stars of God is making reference to the Israelites when you read the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 42. Let's get a precept right quick. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 44, Salakia, and verse 21. Therefore, he assured him by an oath that he will bless the nations in his seed, and that he will multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from river unto the utmost parts of the land. With Isaac did he establish likewise, with Abraham his father, the blessing of all men and the covenant. And he made it rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him an heritage, and divided his portion among the 12 tribes did he part them. So this is making reference to what? God's chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's keep reading. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, making reference to what? North America. Esau has literally got his boot on his neck with our people being constantly oppressed by them. The congregation that is making reference to is what? Let's go to Psalm 74. That's why it must be precept upon precept. So you can't add and say the congregation is the multi-ethnic people. No, the Bible defines who the congregation is. The book of Psalms, chapter 47 and verse 47 and verse 2. And it reads, remember thy congregation, which thou hast purchased of old, the rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed, this Mount Zion wherein thou hast dwelt. So Zion is another name for who? For Israel. Let's go back. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. We're going to keep reading, and you're going to see that this is not the spiritual demon Satan, but a man. Let's keep reading the context. Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, meaning what? In 1901, where it goes into the Wright brothers discovering flight, it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? I'm going to read it again. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? So it's letting you know that it's not talking about the spiritual being Satan. Lucifer is represented as a what? As a man, or as a race of men, preferably your neighborhood white man. So I hope brothers and sisters understand that. What do you mean what other books? The Bible is the only one that you really need, sis. Now we have other books that coincide with the Bible. So I have the book of Josephus, sis, that you can get, like, to kind of go into more and more details on things that's not in the scriptures. But the Bible literally is all that you need. But you can go into other historical books, like the book of Josephus. We have Lost Tribes and the Promised Lands. You know, I try to get in a good book collection. So You want to make sure you get a Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. You know, like I said, the last time I have books like Black Indians that talk about that. You got Lost Tribes and the Promised Lands, where by Ronald Saunders, a white man literally understanding that the Israelites that came to the side of the earth, or the people that came to the side of the earth, are Israelites, making reference to the Mexicans and Native American Indians. But the main book that you need, sis, is the Bible. According to Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Matter of fact, let's get there. Because I know a lot of times brothers and sisters think that they need to go to other books for sources. No, the Bible is the main source that you need, sis. Now, it's okay for you to pull books, but they must filter through the Bible. So not the book of Jasher, not the book of Enoch, not the book of Jubilees, not all these books that say things contrary to what the Bible is saying. Talking about angels coming down, sleeping with men. No, that is nonsense. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, meaning no one of these prophecies can fail. That's why it's very imperative that you read the Bible. No other book on the planet Earth is telling you the past, the present, and the future. No book on the planet Earth can do that, sis. It says, no one of these shall fail. None can want her mate, meaning you can't mate the Bible with no other book. No other book can stand up to what the Bible brings. It says, none shall want her mate. Salakia. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them. So we constantly see you cannot compare the Bible to any other book, sis. So yeah, get you a Bible. Yes, Obadiah is a great book to read. You say, I'm Dutch, Italian, Jewish. You ain't know that. Yeah, we know you Jewish, meaning not the original sort of like, and y'all not even sort of like. That's why y'all call yourselves Jewish people. Hey, you know we got to hit you with this, man. Bruce should already know what we want, man. What we going to. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So the Bible disagrees with you. I know King Bree said he's going to go watch our people. And, you know, that's fine. And then we use that as a way to bring unity among us. But now our people have to learn to, guess what, turn back to the commandments as well. But that is hilarious, Brother King Bree. Yeah, it is. It's over for Edom. It's over. How in the hell are we in heaven right now and we not in rulership? I'm talking about just don't listen. Not only is Esau dumb as hell, but he don't listen. No, we're not in heaven. We're in captivity. You probably asking that because we use John 8 and 44, show that Esau is the devil. Yeah, devil just means deceive, and Lucifer is mentioned in the Bible one time. That's right. Where's the 10 commandments in the Bible? They found in the book of Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 on down, brother. But it's other commandments as well. You know, but Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 on down. We never said that. So stop bearing false witness against us. We never said women will enter into the heaven. No, women are not a part of the 144,000. That's it. Women, the other multitude that is talking about in Revelation 7 is going into other Israelites, men, women, and children that are not of the 144,000. And I ain't gonna lie, Deacon Akar brought that out in his class. You know, we shout out to our brother Deacon Hakar, brothers from Sakari, Priest Alazar, our brothers, man. And we love our brothers. They're doing great work debating these Christians and debating other people with lack of understanding of the scriptures, man. So let's go to the book of Revelation. He never said that other men, women, and children are not going to be in the kingdom, but they're not of the 144,000. And this is a scripture that Christians always love to butcher. Just the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 9. And behold, after you done read from verses 1 through verses 8 on The 12,000 of each tribe seal. That's not 12,000 of all the people of Israel. No, there's just 12,000 men of each tribe. That is going to be God's army and his governing body, and the army that he's going to use to stomp you out, Vince. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and psalms in their hands. So they'll literally try to take this and make it about other nations, because it says of all nations. What is that making reference to? That's making reference to all the Israelites that were scattered amongst those other nations. And here's the proof. Let's flip over. Now because it literally gave you the context in chapter 5. We literally read that in class yesterday. So that's the precept. We're going to go other precepts as well. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 5 and verse 10. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5 and we're going to start at verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us, like we read in the book of Isaiah, like we read in other various places. Luke chapter 1, verse 68, the only redeemed is the Israelites, and has redeemed us to God by the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. Making reference to what? Exodus chapter 19, verse 16. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. We are those kings and priests. We were the ones redeemed out of every tribe, kindred, tongue, and people. So this is the precept that goes with that. So you can't literally say that this is talking about them, because no other nation was given the authority to be kings and priests. Let's get that multitude. What do I want? I want Genesis. I hope I got a precept right. That's why it's very imperative. Not only do we get on brothers, but I also get on myself, making sure you take good notes. I want the one. This is how I remember. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra. So I can remember it two ways. Sometimes I may have it in a place and then don't have it in the other place. So let's see who that mixed multitude is talking about. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3 and verse 16. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau. So Esau don't have no luck. Most High God passed Esau up for being the chosen. And so Jacob became a great multitude. So Jacob is that great multitude when you read in the book of Genesis chapter 7 and verse 9. Now let's get another precept. Let's go to the book of Genesis 28 and verse 3. Showing you who that multitude is. This is the book of Genesis chapter 28 and verse 3. And God Almighty bless thee and make thee fruitful and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. Who is that talking about? Jump up to verse 1. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. So he was literally giving them instruction not to mix with those nations, with the Canaanite nations. What did Esau do? He literally went and slept with them. Verse 9. Then went Esau unto Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had Mathaliel, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nabal, to be his wife. So we see that, guess what? He didn't even obey. Jump up to verse 8. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father. I'm talking about wicked as hell. He literally told him who to choose from. I mean, he didn't want to keep the commandments any damn way. So that multitude is not talking about other nations. It's talking about Israelites coming out of those other nations. Yeah, exactly. Dutch. For real. Captain. Yeah, for real. I ain't believing that, Sister Jerry. No, they damn sure gonna be in there, because we're gonna be having children in the kingdom. Yeah, shut up. Women can enter into heaven. That's right. Most definitely. Well, what's happening in the fifth seal now is that the Most High God is gathering all the nations to end it, to eventually end to carry us into the sixth seal. So let's get there. Let's go to the book of Revelations. Go to the book of Revelations, chapter 7 and verse 9. Finna get up out of here in a loop after this. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth. What wind is this? Destruction. Meaning the Most High God is holding back the powers that be with these angels, literally having them jumping in and out these world powers to guess what? Stop them from killing each other until the Most High God has completed his mission by what? Sealing the 144,000. It says that the wind shall not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. It says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. So that's where we're literally at right now, Sister Lou. It literally, the Most High God is sealing up the 144,000 so that destruction don't come upon them. Once that number is sealed, then he's going to let those world powers destroy each other. So that's why we hadn't officially, that's what's literally happening now in the 5th seal. Yeah, that's right. Batia, Brand, of course. Brother John. Yeah, Brother John, if you have any questions, yeah, ask away. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, everything about them is anti-righteousness. Yeah, exactly. The Father is tempted or no, man. That's a good point. If Christ is God, why was he tempted? Well, I'm going to tell you what they're going to say. Well, when God was in this manly form, well, what do God need to come and be as a man for? I mean, that makes no damn sense. God has no, he doesn't leave his throne. So, I mean, come on, man. He has people to do his will. Yeah, that's right. They're really not indigenous to Europe. Remember, the land of Europe was given to the Japhites, who also were black people. The thing is, when Esau rose up as a nation, he literally took Europe from Japhet and became Japhet, like they do everybody. They steal and take your heritage. Now they are those people. So yeah, Europe really didn't belong to them either. Hey, you better leave my sister alone. God gonna tear your butt up. No, you're gonna make a good slave. Yeah, we know. We already know. Niggers in the Bible. Yeah, for real. We ain't touching Esau. All y'all gonna be in the fields. That's exactly right. Daniel's chapter 7 lines up with that. Captain Yara giving you. I'm just glad our people waking up. You know, literally seeing who God says is our enemy. You know. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, Sister Jerry Cooper, Esau is really homosexual by nature. Yeah, he gonna have to do them push-ups, boy. He gonna need it in the kingdom, boy. They gonna need it, man. Yeah, we know. We know, sis. Shalom, shalom, Ehud. Boy, y'all typing them comments up in there, boy. God dang. Yeah, we got that, sis. We ain't blocking nothing because the thing is, we want to see the hatred that they have for us. You know, so nah, we ain't blocking that. We want our people to see, because I'm going to tell you, our people literally need to see that, sis. the hatred that they do have for us. Because the thing would be, you could tell that his hatred is so strong because any person what person gonna go to a link or go and listen in on a chat that has nothing to do with you to come in and comment unless you have great hatred for that nation, you know? So now we literally need this as a to show our people the hatred that they have. Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. That's a great precept. That dwellest in the land of Uz, the cup shall pass unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. That's right. It's a great precept. I haven't pulled in a while. Luxy Lou, watching y'all videos for 2 months now, and I have more understanding now than my entire life with pastors. All praise. That's what it's here for. And many of us felt the same way too, sis. You can literally watch an Israelite class for a day and learn in one day that you did in 20 or 30 years. It's always going to be people who don't like learn to late, just know. Yeah, that's exactly right. He'll mentality change, you know. Yeah, don't block him, sis. Yeah, let us do that, sis. We got his ass. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of times he give us scriptures to pull on himself. You know, so. Boy, y'all, God, man, how y'all typing these comments that damn fast? Dang. Y'all typing these comments that fast, man. I know it's a lot of y'all, but dang. You got Captain Maccabees on here. We say, oh, hell, now you in trouble now, Nick. Now you in trouble now, Esau. So, you know, Captain Yara already been, everybody really been on them already, even the sisters, boy. He'll tell them lionesses, hey, calm down, sisters. They're like, get his ass. That's a good question, Slick Rick. They came in the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. That was the Most High God making. Remember, in the book of Genesis, God was still creating nations. So the Most High God made them. That's who that forefather goes back to. They have always been red, even out the womb. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, and verse 22. Verse 20. 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. So Isaac got Rebekah pregnant, and the children struggled together within her. And the children struggled together within her. And he said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. So the Lord was letting her know through the prophets that she was about to have twins, 2 new nations that were going to be on the planet Earth. Verse 24. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So whatever baby comes out first will be a servant to his brother. One people was going to be stronger, meaning able to endure great hardships, trials, tribulations, and still be able to survive. We know what nation of people is that. Think about it. Our people went through slavery for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the other nations like, how in the hell can these nation of people take all that and still be around? You done had people, babies eaten by alligators and so on and so forth. You done seen these things, man. But our people are still here. It says, verse 24, and when her days were to be delivered were fulfilled, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. So this is to your point, Slick Rick. The first came out red. It's only 2 types of colors on the planet Earth, Slick Rick. You only have brown people and you have red people. Moses wrote this down because this was the first time a baby came out looking different, meaning all the nations and races that God created up until this point were what? All had brown skin. The original Chinese people are brown. The original Japanese people are brown. All these nations have a root being brown. So God wrote this down, and the first came out red. That's what we call Caucasians, what? Red down south. They're not really white. No one is white on the planet Earth. A sheet of paper is white. No, they are red because what? Their blood shows forth through their skin. They're what you call lepers. Verse 24, and when their days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came out, his brother came out. Why didn't they describe what Jacob looked like? Because Jacob looked like all the rest of the people that were on the planet Earth before in the book of Genesis. It's sin. They literally wrote down Esau's color because he looked different, which means wasted away, meaning his pigmentation was wasted away. He had no melanin. A lot of people don't understand that it's two types of twins. All twins are not identical. So by them being two nations and two manner of people, let you know that they wasn't what? They was not identical twins. People lose that understanding when it comes to the script. What are they supposed to look like? Not all twins look alike. So that's your answer. No, this is how they became red, like we say. Any other questions before we get up out of here? I know we've been on here for a minute. Real as it get. Why y'all want to go ahead, put a dagger in people when they run to Paul and Galatians? I watch camps. I really never seen anyone say Paul telling the Galatians they come from. No, we do. Remember, as real as it get, brother, I'm going to tell you, we literally do that. And most camps do a good job because we always go to what? To the context. The context of Paul's epistles are literally like in 1 verse 1 or 1 verse 7. Like when you write in the book of Romans, the context is literally verse 7. He's literally telling you who he's writing to. So in the book of Galatians, the context is 1 verse 1. In the book of Ephesians, the context is 1 verse 1. In the book of 1 Corinthians is 1 verse 1. He either addresses us as brethren or as the saints. And we know only the Israelites are saints. So yeah, we do kind of address that. Light-skinned people are just people, black people with lighter complected skin. You know, like we tell brothers and sisters, Slick Rick, this truth is not about skin color. Because we ask brothers and sisters all the time, Bob Marley is a white man. His father is Caucasian. So you are who your father is. So it's not predicated upon what your skin looks like. It's about what's in your blood. So if your blood goes back to a black, Hispanic, or Mexican man, you will be an Israelite, no matter what color you are. Yeah, brother Razatak, he's very light-skinned. His brother Daoud, looked like he could be an Issachar, but he's really Judah because their father is Judah. So just because your color looks a certain way doesn't mean that you're that race of people. It's two totally different. So I give all honor and praises to the Most High. Shalom, shalom, Zach. Wow, how you doing? How you doing? Because my damn computer is literally about to die. So we didn't have brothers and sisters coming on here approaching the 2:44 mark. I forgot he got the time on there. So we'd like to give all honor and praises to the Most High and to his son, Yahweh Shah. They said, brothers and sisters have any other questions, hey, call us in the description, man. We don't mind getting on the phone battling, man. You know, giving people good understanding. We want to make sure. That's exactly right. That's a prime example. I'd say he got a twin. So, you know, we got brothers that are twins in our camp. We have an identical set of twins, and then we have a brother and a sister that are fraternal twins. So you even see it with that by them being a boy and a girl. Yeah, exactly. Malcolm X is a great definition of red, meaning a light complected brother. Even when you're reading the Zondervan, it gives you that definition in contrast. So tell brothers and sisters to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Make sure that y'all are prepping to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, getting you a tent, getting you a sleeping mat, getting the things that you need to literally be out there in the wilderness. Get you a campsite. These things are not as expensive as brothers and sisters think. Preparing for the Day of Atonement. Brothers and sisters need to be practicing on fasting. Us at Battle Axes, like I say, we put it forth to brothers and sisters to fast Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown. You know, just to get the practice up. You know what I'm saying? So want to make sure y'all preparing for a new moon, for memorial blowing of trumpets. Keep these commandments, brothers and sisters, man. For brothers and sisters that need a calendar, reach out to us. I'm gonna text it to you, Sister Jerry Cooper, sis. You know, if y'all want to come celebrate the tabernacles with us, make sure y'all reach out to leadership. Get your fees in, be able to come out with us. We say we give all honor and praise to the Most High. Like we say, we like to end with a law. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13. One of our favorite scriptures to read. Is that what I want? Deuteronomy. 19. Sometimes I get it mixed up. I think it's 19. No. Have to go to my Bible. 16 and 16. This is the book of Deuteronomy.